Yo, yo, yo. Yo, my bad, ladies and gentlemen. I was supposed to go live at 8 o'clock and then ran into some issues and then decided to come on live now. So we made it. We was a few minutes late. You know what I'm saying? I know we was a few minutes late, but it's all good. A little technical issues, but we got them worked out last week. Last week was crazy. Last week was crazy, man. Crazy week of boxing. Um, Everything, man. I mean, it just started out. It started out crazy, and then it just out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Kept getting crazier as the week went on, man. First, we had Felix Verdejo, that situation, which was terrible. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, of course, we had the Canelo Billy Joe Saunders build up, which was going great. You know what I'm saying? It was going real good. And then out of nowhere, Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul, damn, they took all the attention. You know what I'm saying? They took all the attention. And then from there, you know what I'm saying? From there, we got back on that Canelo Billy Joe Saunders fight. Um, it was just a crazy week, man. It was just a crazy week. But hey, man, it was a dope week, man. It was actually one of my favorite fight weeks in a while. I was actually hyped. I was posting about it. I covered everything on my Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram at Coach Anthony, you see that I basically covered everything. You know what I mean? But real quick, before we get started, you know what I mean? You know, we're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about it all. Um, don't forget, guys, I got the courses on CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. And if you use discount code CABoxing50, you will get all of my courses basically 50% off, man. You can't beat it. You know what I mean? Right now, we have a brand new, basically a brand new setup. So if you go to the website now, you'll be able to get a course. It has a Southpaw version already built in. It has PDF plans. It gets cut up into sections. It's just really, really dope. I'm gonna let y'all get a quick peek of what it's about if you don't already know. But actually, this is my latest course. Everybody wants to know how to box a southpaw. Everybody who's a southpaw wants to learn how to box the opposite stance. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna give away all the secrets. We're gonna teach you so many great things, man. And luckily, we got a guy right here who can box both stands, orthodox and southpaw, and fast in the chambers. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna learn a lot. You guys made a very wise decision. So let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it. And of course, man, after that, we have to bring on the one and only Fast Eddie Chambers. Eddie, what's good? Talk to me, baby.
Nah, not much, man. Just came back from the gym, trying to get my fat self in some shape. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Gotta do it.
what you do at the gym today?
Don't ask me.
I'm just curious. What was the
No, no,
workout?
no. I did a little bit of light lifting, but mostly ball.
Oh, you play
Just trying to get the
basketball.
yeah, just trying to get that cardio in because I gotta find a way to get some of this fat off.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
easy.
gonna talk. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that this week. I want to talk about last week. Last week was crazy. But we definitely going to talk about the nutrition. We
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to talk about the fitness. We're going to talk about a little bit about boxing training. I'm trying to keep this thing as a weekly thing going, Eddie.
Yeah.
So right here in front of the people, let's go ahead and try to make a commitment that we're going to hop on. You know what I mean? Weekly and talk. We're going to talk about different subjects. We're going to talk about boxing. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about boxing recaps and everything like
Mm-hmm.
that. So let's try to keep this going, man. People have been asking about this for quite some time. So I'm like, you know what? Why not? We got the platform. We might as well utilize it. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah. I like
And
that.
but first things first, man. Let's start off from the beginning of the week. Well, actually, you know what? Let's start from the end of the week and work our way backwards. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. Now, you came to the crib You know what I'm saying? We hung out. We watched the fight. We were next to each other when we watched the fight, and I want to know what you saw. What did you see? Now, I don't want a biased thing. I know Tyson Fury's your man, and then Billy Joe Saunders, Tyson Fury's man. I know the UK loves Eddie Chambers, but we got to keep it 100. What did you see? And then, of course, I'm going to bounce off you and tell you what I saw. But what did you see this weekend in that fight? Because a lot of controversy with the outcome of not how the fight ended. Well, there was some controversy as far as people's opinion, but of how close the fight was. A lot of people felt that it was razor thin leading to the stoppage. Others felt that it was kind of a easy night for Canelo. What were your thoughts, and what did you see as a professional boxer?
Well, I saw the first thing I saw in the beginning, it looked like he was, as Canelo was going to just control the fight pretty much throughout. It looked like he was doing good with staying to the body early. Like he was going to the body early, which I thought was really, really smart. And it was going to pay dividend later, obviously, like, what most people think with, the body attack with a guy who's, kind of slipping, to put some shots to the body to kind of slow him down later. But then he got a little bit too comfortable. And we were talking about that too. You notice how he was walking him down, leaning over the front foot a little bit, trying to draw offense so he can get some big shots off, which is cool. But Billy Joe started to get a little more confident because he started to make Canelo miss a little bit with some of them big shots. His jab started to work a little bit. He started throwing more combination punches. Even if he wasn't landing, he's still putting his hands on Canelo's body periodically. So it kind of had Canelo a little offset. And I could see how people could start to think that maybe he had a little bit better middle of the fight than he did at the beginning. But I still felt like Canelo was controlling it. I still felt like Canelo eventually would have gotten back complete control, as the fight would have went on. But then he caught him with that crazy shot, which was wow. I mean, that thing was right on the button. It was not on the button as far as chin, but to land it in the eye perfectly and bust his eye socket like that, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. I felt. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, but it was just I feel like Billy Joe had moments at times, but I don't think it was enough to win enough rounds to be for the fight to be that close. I thought the fight was, you give maybe Billy Joe maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe 3.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like it was 2.5, maybe. Like you could argue a third round for Billy. You can argue a third round for Billy, but in reality, you can't really argue more than that. And of course, the fight was only an 8-round fight, but I felt like Chris Mannix actually had Billy Joe Saunders up. In the first 5 rounds, he had Chris Mannix had Billy Joe Saunders up in the first 5 rounds. And remember, I made a post on Instagram and Twitter about it. I was bugging. I'm like, how can anybody have Billy Joe Saunders going into round 5 or round 6 winning that fight? What I saw was Canelo walking him down. I seen Canelo walking through anything that Billy threw. It seemed like Canelo just caught it right on his glove. But when Canelo threw, things was landing. It was landing flush. And this is within the first 5 rounds. And of course, Canelo was throwing that sneaky uppercut throughout the night, which was getting up the middle. And it just seemed like in round 6 that Billy Joe made an adjustment. And it was around that time where Canelo started to miss shots to the head. And I think we were both next to each other, and we both agreed that Canelo needs to go back to the body because he was throwing too many headshots at that point. So I think round 6 and 7 is when Canelo started to get, Billy Joe made a slight adjustment. But then going into round 8, you saw the outcome. Now, let me ask you from a fighter's perspective, because this is becoming a trending thing. And I know you're not on the internet as much as I am. But this is a big thing. Everybody's calling Billy Joe Saunders a quitter. People are calling Billy Joe Saunders soft. People are calling him. No, hold up. Respected people in the sport too, not just guys that never put on a pair of gloves. I've seen guys who were professional MMA fighters, professional boxers, bringing up old pictures of them with busted up eyes, busted up nose, broken jaws. respected trainers in the sport saying that Billy Joe Saunders wore pink that night at the end because he quit on the stool. So let me ask you, as a professional fighter, which I've never seen you quit on the stool, right? I've never seen that come out of you. I've seen you, obviously, you had one loss apparently that was bad. But other than that, but at that point, you went out on your shield in that fight. Right. But what's your opinion on a fighter that quits due to an injury like that? I mean, you fought with one bicep torn a whole fight. And I know you have empathy. And I'm not saying that I think that Billy Joe is soft by any means, but what's your opinion as a professional fighter, somebody who's been in there? Is Billy Joe soft?
No, absolutely not. I get, because Billy Joe, he talked crazy about Daniel Dubois when he said, I think he went out on the stool too because of his eye. And Daniel Dubois, to be honest, he didn't even come at him like that. He was just like, I just hope that now he understands that, saying stuff like that has it's a lesson learned for him. You know what I mean? Not everybody is a quitter just based on one particular situation. I mean, like when you start to think, like, say if you get hit with a shot like that, right? And all of a sudden your vision is gone. You start to get nervous, like, oh, wait, hold up. I can't see. And you're like, am I going to be blind in this eye for the rest of my life now? Am I going to stay in this damn fight for what? I'm about to get $3 million, man. I'm going home. Like, I ain't mad at what he did. You know what I'm saying? Because you start thinking about your kids, you start thinking about your family, you start thinking about a lot of things that, at that moment, it just flashes in your mind. Like, is this it for me? You know what I'm saying? Is that it for I might not be able to see out this eye no more. You start really getting nervous. Look, think about what happened to Kell Brook when he was fighting Earl Spence and it happened. Like, after that round, he was like, man, I'm out of here, man. You know, I mean, not that, and I think he got stopped. I don't know. I think he might have just got stopped in the fight. But I mean, it's like, yo, people don't want to stay around like after something like that happens. That's a real dangerous thing. That's a dangerous injury.
Hold on, Eddie, real quick before I continue, because I'm gonna chime in on my thoughts on that because it's very important. Hold on. I always got to do this.
Yeah.
Instagram, come right now. Swipe up. You see who I got? I got the one and only Eddie Chambers. We on YouTube. We live. We talking about last week. We talking about Billy Joe versus Canelo. We talking about Floyd. We talking about Felix Verdejo. Let's go. Yeah, man. So this is my opinion. I think that you're right, Eddie. Instagram. Hold up. My bad. Swipe up. You see who I got? I got the. All right, let's get it. So my opinion is the same thing as you in a sense. I think you're not. I think for the people who are calling Billy Joe Saunders soft, I don't think they're wrong. Right? Hold up though. Hold up, Eddie. Let me get. I know you're a devil's advocate sometimes, but listen to where I'm going with this. Listen to where I'm going. And for the people like you who feel that he did the right thing due to his life condition, I don't feel like you're wrong. This is what I feel. I feel like we all fight for different reasons. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And when you got some guys out there who they put their life on the line, they're willing to die. Mm-hmm. They're willing to die. But for what reason? Like, for instance, like if I'm protecting my family, I'm willing to die. If I got nothing, if I got no family and I'm a fighter, I'm a boxer, professional, I'm willing to die because I really have nothing else. But if I got kids, I got a wife, I got to come back home, then I'm willing to sacrifice my boxing so I could come back home healthy for my family because that's who I'm fighting for. And if I die in the ring, then what? Or if I get really hurt in the ring, then what happens the rest of my life with my family who I'm fighting for? So I just think that everybody fights for different reasons. If you're fighting for some kind of a religion, or you're fighting for your life, or you're fighting for whatever, it's a different situation. But he had the option to stop because it's still a sport. And I just believe that if he felt like that was the right decision for him, then I think that was the right decision. He made the right decision for him because he's fighting for a different reason than some of these other guys.
True. And fight another day, live to fight another day. Listen at this. Look at Joe McClellan. Remember him? The
Of
great Joe
course.
McClellan, G-Man.
How can I forget him?
But look at him. Who's going? I mean, there's people that go over and see him every now and again and all that stuff. But look how his life is now. Was it worth that? Was it worth losing all that weight, taking all the water away from his brain, now having brain damage, now being blind, 80% deaf in one ear and then completely deaf in the other? Like, it's crazy, man. Like, I'm not saying don't go out on your shit. I'm not saying don't be that guy or do what you want to do. Do whatever it is to you. But you got to think about your life after this sport. You know what I'm saying? It's a gladiator sport. And when you're in there, you should be thinking that way. However, if something comes through your mind and says, hey, man, this ain't right, man, I got to get out of here somehow, then do that. Don't second guess it. Get the hell out of there. Because if you're second guessing anything when you're in the ring, you can die in there. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely die in it. So don't put yourself at the risk of dying if you feel like your head's not going to be in it. Get out while you can. But for people to say he's a coward or to say he wore pink and all, and I get it, you know, and I think a lot of people are giving him that because of what he said about like Daniel Dubois and different guys and how much crap he talks, because that's just the way he is. So they trying to give it back to him. But I think in the right mind, most fighters, most athletes, if they felt like there was something that was really like their life was online or their vision was gonna they were gonna lose their vision, they would have been like, man, you know what? I'm out of there. Look what Ray Leonard. Ray Leonard stopped boxing when he felt like his vision, where he was almost gonna lose one of his eyes. He was like, I'm out. I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's also the corner's job. I think like, the corner. I've seen a few coaches actually talk really down on Billy Joe as well, and I was surprised when I heard it from a coach, because as a coach, your job is to protect the fighter. Mm-hmm. So if you're a coach and you don't have the empathy to say, yo, I got to protect this guy, then that makes me question you as a coach, because coaches, yes, you're supposed to make your kids prepared for battle. Yes, you're supposed to make them mentally tough. But if you're willing for your athlete to die in that ring and you're not willing to protect him from himself as a coach, then you need to reevaluate coaching, because now you're living through the fighter. See, me, I'm there to protect my athletes. So Billy Joe wouldn't have had to quit. I would have stopped it. You dig what I'm saying? I would have stopped it. If I see that my guy is not able to perform, I got it. Let me handle it. Let me do my job. That's why you got me in the corner. That's why I'm your extra set of eyes. So for the coaches out there who feel like he's soft, you're not thinking like a coach. You're thinking like a fan. You're thinking like, that father who lives through his kids. You couldn't be a freaking world-class boxer, so you said, I'm going to get another guy and I'm going to make him tough as I wish that I was. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's real easy to risk another man's blood. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it ain't you in it, 100%.
So for my opinion on that is, Billy Joe did what was right for him, but at the same time, what I do want to say is we all fight for different reasons. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The reasons that you get up in the morning and go to work at 5 a.m. is a different reason than me. You know what I mean? You might have kids, you might have bills, blah, blah. Me, I might just be ambitious. I might want to be the biggest and the best I could be. Others, you know what I mean? They value family, and others value, good times. We all live in this world, in this one world, but we living for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that there's no right or wrong answer. You could think of it from that angle, but at the same time, you're not right because you feel that. You dig what I mean?
Of course not. No, but like, just because I'm saying that you shouldn't disrespect him for what he did, there could have been other factors. Of course, that's my opinion. Everybody else has an opinion, like, man. And most of them, I really do believe it's because he talks so much, and that's just his personality. That's just the way they are. Same thing with Tyson. That's how they are. You know what I mean? That's what drives them is that. You know what I mean? And they really believe what they're saying. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he has a family, the fact that he wants to be able to see. You know what I mean? The fact that he doesn't want to die in the ring. He want to make the right decision for his future. I don't think that's wrong. I think that's right. You see a lot of these dudes, man, at the end of their careers, and they can barely formulate a sentence, and they're still fighting. It's like, why?
I see it in guys that aren't even at the end of their career.
Yeah.
I see it in fighters that, you know what I mean, are 12, 13, 20 pro fights in. They haven't
Yeah.
even fought for their first world title, and they're
Like,
already stumbling over their words. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, how far you
like, come
gonna go?
on, man. That's
Like, how
crazy.
far you gonna go with this, man? Like, yo, you know what I mean? Are you sure you want to keep doing this? You still got a chance to get out. It's like, yo, it's like the drug game. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Boxing's like the drug game. Like, if you stay in too long, you gonna get locked up. You might get killed. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And it's like boxing's no different. At some point, you gotta have your exit route. You gotta know when to say, okay,
Yo,
enough. I
yo,
I done got through. I done boom. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know. You gotta know it. You have to feel it. You know?
a great man told me that. Like, you got your entrance strategy and everything, and everybody knows what they want to do and where they want to go as far as their future as a fighter and what they're gonna do and how you want to win your title. But you gotta have your exit strategy just as smooth and ready just as early, because a lot of people, they want to keep going and keep going. They don't know when to quit, and then by the time they quit, it's not because they decided to quit. It's because all of a sudden they had to quit. They're forced to via injury, or their minds are gone, or their skills are just completely eroded because they don't, they wore themselves out. They beat it out of themselves. You understand what I'm saying? You got to know when it's time to go, man. And I don't care. You can be that tough guy, all that. I'm a tough guy, man. I'll take punch to give a punch. But look at me. There's a lot of dudes, man, that are running around out here, man. They can't even get touched on their chin because they've taken so much punishment now. They can, like you said, they can barely stand up. They can barely formulate a sentence. And it's like, yeah, they're tough, and everybody loved them for when their career was going on and what they were doing at that time when they were young and they had the energy and all. But look at them now. Some of them are in the grave now. 50 years old, 45 sometime, looking like they're 60, 70 years old. Is that worth it? Was it really worth it? Maybe. If you ask them, they may say, hey, I'd do it. If I had to do it all over, I'd do it again. But not for me, bro. I want to spend time with my family. And I'm tough as anybody. And I ain't never quit. And I don't think I could. But you know what I mean? Hey, maybe there should be time for me to go.
Right. So yo, so what now? Where does Canelo go from now? Where does Canelo go from now? Canelo already done fought a lot of the big names in the game. You got a couple guys left like Jermell Charlo. I get confused with the Charlo, but you got both Charlo. Let's just keep it simple. But really, the bigger one is the one that he would probably have to fight. And then you got Demetrius Andrade. I don't know if you peeped it.
Yeah.
He actually stepped to him in the press conference, and Canelo played him. All right, so if you go on my Instagram, I posted it. But Canelo basically played him and was like, yo, get out of here. Like, you ain't nobody. You never fought nobody. Like, you never even, the guy you beat for the title was a nobody. You're a bum. You're a horrible fighter. Canelo was talking English. That's what made it funny. But Canelo is basically disregarding Boo Boo Andrade as if he's not a liable, a real, somebody who should be on his level. Now, what's your thoughts on that, and what's your thoughts about him fighting Charlo? And do you feel like Canelo, is a fighter who is a little overrated due to a lot of the fights that he's had, like that had a lot of stipulations and stuff like that? There's a lot of people who feel that Canelo it shouldn't get the respect that he is getting due to the fact that like he made fighters have to do weight, certain stipulations in order to fight him, so to speak. And getting the credit from certain people, and they're saying that Canelo doesn't want to fight black fighters. Let's go ahead and keep it a buck. That's what they're saying. And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. People were saying that same thing about Floyd. Floyd make you come out as weighty, where you gotta wear these gloves, you gotta fight in this ring, you gotta fight in this place. At the end of the day, you fighting. And if he beats you, he beats you, no matter what the stipulations were. If you had to lose weight, then lose weight. If you're gonna do it, look, he's the cash cow, he's the man. You got to deal with that. You beat him, then you the man. Then you can make him do all those things. But as it stands, yeah, he's the man. So you got to do whatever he says. And he's not overrated. You know what I mean? I ain't seen nobody that got in there, whether it was a black fighter or whatever, Spanish fighter, Triple G, any of these dudes. Even though I felt like Triple G did good the first fight, probably should have won it. You know what I mean? Even in the second fight was close. There was some fights he had out there were close, like with Lara. And some of these guys, the decisions are a little questionable, but he was in every fight. And he's as talented as anybody. He's really, really one of the best fighters in the world, legitimately right now. However, I think it's a classic move when you try to downplay the dude, like, oh, he ain't this, he ain't that, he's not really that good. I don't know nobody you fought. You're not this, you're not that. To downplay them, so you don't have to acknowledge that they're there. You don't have to acknowledge that they're a real serious threat. Because Demetrius Andrade can fight, man. He can really fight. Do I think he can beat Canelo? I'm not sure. He can really fight. Like, he's legitimately one of the top fighters in the world right now in those weight classes. So he has to really, really acknowledge that. I mean, he doesn't have to. He's playing it classic. Like, I'm not even going to acknowledge this dude. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the big dog. So if I was to lose to any of them, I can get, I'm not completely out of my, out of control. You know what I'm saying? If he loses to Demetrius Andrade, how many people really know him? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's people that know him, but if you're not a hardcore boxing fan, who is that? Right? And who did he beat for his title? And who did he do this? You know what I mean? So it's like, keep away from somebody like that that's that good. It doesn't have enough of a following. You know what I'm saying? It's about business at the end of the day. Yeah, he'd rather fight one of the Charlo brothers, because if he was to have a tough time with them or lose to one of them, they got a pretty decent following, and a lot of people know that.
So who do you think he should fight next then?
Well, I think he's going to go after Caleb Plant because he wants to unify that division.
Right. That's right. You got Caleb Plant. Do you think Caleb Plant should fight him? Do you believe he deserves that fight? Do you believe he deserves that fight more than a Charlo or a Bubu Andrade?
Well, I feel like those guys are elite. I think Caleb Plant has the ability to be considered that. I mean, he still has to prove that against certain levels of competition. I mean, he has won the title, he has beat some guys, but he's not beating no Hall of Fame guys or guys that, that you really could say, like, yo, he beat this guy. Like, man, this is crazy. But like, you look at the Charlo brothers, they're short enough, they're popular, they're out there. You know what I mean? People know who they are. They've won multiple titles in different divisions and stuff like that too. So, obviously, Triple G is one of the elites of all time. So you gotta of all time in those divisions, and he's done a lot of great things in his career. So you gotta acknowledge those guys first. You know what I mean? But Caleb Plant, if Canelo wants it and he wants to unify, if I'm Caleb Plant, I'm like, absolutely. I'll fight him anywhere he wants me to fight him, because that is going to change my life. And if I beat him, that's really going to change my life. It's like when I fought Vladimir. I wasn't thinking so much about, I didn't want to get taken to the cleaners like I did with my money at the end of the fight. But at the end of the day, I was thinking more about, I go to Germany and I beat this guy. What kind of star will I be then? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, you got to take a chance. No real risk, no real reward. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with Caleb Plant, he has the ability that he can fight. He can punch, he can box, he's slick, he's fast, everything. He has the ability. I don't think he can beat. I don't know if he can beat Canelo, because Canelo is, best of the best right now. So it's gonna be an interesting situation. But I think Caleb Plant's going to end up getting it, and he should take it. I would.
Right. I don't think Caleb Plant. I don't think Caleb Plant going to turn it down. It's a shame that Bubu Andrade hasn't got those big fights. A lot of people think that he's the guy that could beat Canelo. My only question at this point is, he hasn't fought at this level. He's been a professional for quite a bit of time. I mean, he was good 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I remember Bubu Andrade when he was in the amateurs and when he first turned pro, and then when he first started to get a buzz years ago. Then he disappeared for a bunch of years due to a bad deal that he signed, I believe. I don't know the details to it, but I know that it wasn't a good situation, so they shelved him. And now he just popped back up, and he's been fighting, but he hasn't fought nobody at the level that Canelo has fought, and Canelo has been consistent. And, don't get me wrong, I think Bubu presents issues because of his tall southpaw, long arms, and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, Canelo kind of got a point. Like, yo, who you fought. Like, for you to say you could beat me, now don't get me wrong. On the flip, Canelo probably should have had been for him. You know what I'm saying? He had
Right.
the title and all that. If you want to get technical, but this happens in boxing all the time where guys don't get to fight each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let me not hold you too long. Let me go ahead and move you to the next thing.
Okay.
Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul. That incident that happened last week. It was a crazy, crazy face off. A lot of people thought that was fake. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I watched it, and I don't believe any of that was fake. I don't believe any of that was fake as far as the reaction that Mayweather gave when his hat got taken away. I really believe that he really got mad, and I believe that he was actually mad leading up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know what you're gonna think about the whole situation as far as the fight, of course. But what's your thought? Let's go there. What's your thoughts on Floyd Mayweather fighting a YouTuber? And then what was your thoughts on what you saw last week?
But that whole thing with him fighting the YouTuber, it's just Jake Paul or Logan Paul, both of them, they both have crazy followings. So, look at what Floyd did when he went over and fought the Asian kid over there. You know what I mean? It was, it's about, at this point, Floyd is just trying to, he wants to stay relevant. You know what I mean? He's still got that big cash cow situation going, and he can definitely change people's lives. And obviously, I guess Jake Paul and Logan Paul can do that too, because they got a hell of a following too. And actually, you know what? It's actually really good for Floyd, because even though he's still well known, obviously, even though he's retired, he's now being even more introduced to this new generation of YouTube fans who may not be boxing fans. So this is actually a good thing for Floyd. So no matter what,
hold on. I don't want to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. Last time I was on, I looked through my live on Facebook. Guys, if you want to chime in, you got to go to YouTube so you can chime in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting y'all know, to all my Facebook people. I know y'all watching it, but a lot of those comments, I didn't see them because you guys are talking on Facebook. So yes, you can watch, but I suggest that you go to YouTube if you really want to do that. My YouTube is Coach Anthony Boxing. It should pop up. But anyway, go ahead. Continue, Eddie.
Yeah, no, but it's just like he's going to be now introduced to the even younger audience through his, through being in there with Jake Paul, even though it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? This is even more ridiculous than him fighting Conor McGregor. But it's selling, man. It's they're using boxing, like you see these Triller cards or whatever, and they're using boxing for to bridge the gap.
Let me ask you a question, Eddie. Let me ask you a question, because I had a lot of fun with the build up last week with the Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul. I mean, I posted it on my page. I got so much traction. So many people felt so different. You had two different angles. My thing is this: Floyd Mayweather has fought everybody. Mm-hmm. Floyd Mayweather is arguably the best fighter of our generation, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what else do you want from this guy? And now, this is my thing. He goes ahead and he fights a YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
But now you got all these new people watching the sport that don't even watch boxing. They don't even know boxing. Look, I could walk through the street. You fought for the title of the world. Mm-hmm. And if I walk through a bunch of YouTube fans right now with you right now, they want to know who the hell you are.
Not even
for the damn title of the freaking world. No disrespect, right?
The only thing they remember me more from being on Fight Night.
Yeah, they'll remember you for being on Fight Night, but my point is.
Oh no, I would be.
So you're grabbing a whole new group of people. Now, what happens to the undercard? You got these guys on the undercard who they gotta watch if they want to see the main event. If these undercard guys do well. And they put on a show. Yo, remember that guy on the Floyd Mayweather card after? Mm-hmm. When does he fight again? That was actually a pretty cool fight. Yep. Now even if we grab 1% of the fan base,
of course,
it works.
It works. Look,
why are they judging Floyd Mayweather so bad, saying things like, "Oh, this is a disgrace to boxing"? It's not a disgrace to boxing because it's your fault that you're taking it serious.
I'm
This is
not.
a business move. This is just a business move.
Everything Floyd does at this point in his career has anything to do with him getting in the ring is a business move. He's not fighting freaking Earl Spence or any of these top guys that's coming up, these hungry, dangerous like Terrence Crawford and Boots. You know what I mean? Nobody fighting
He
them.
said it himself. He said, "Why would I risk my health
Right.
against these young, hungry guys?" He
That
said
is
it.
stupid.
He
Yeah,
literally
he's
admitted it.
stupid.
He
He's
admitted
done.
it.
He's done with that part of his career. Now it's all about getting people interested in him after, or having fun with it, making it interesting, being still a showman, but not being a person that's trying to get in there and get his life taken by one of these young, hungry dudes, or have to put himself in that kind of a format to be where he's got to be super hungry and he's got to train all these hours a day, 4, 5, 6 hours, 8 hours sometime a day. It's like, no, he doesn't want to do that now. He done did everything he needed to do in boxing. Why get in there and do that? This is perfect for him at this stage. But people are going to look at Floyd like, why are you doing this now, man? You know what I mean? You got enough money. You got this, you got that. And it's like, well, he wants to continue to keep his name in boxing and to be a part of this new wave. Everybody wants to stay relevant. And he found a way to become, once again, stay relevant. His name is still big in boxing, but it's now going to get even bigger because you got lay fans who don't even know nothing about boxing, who are YouTube fans watching Jake and Logan Paul, and they know Floyd now. They big Floyd Mayweather people now, even if they hate him. Don't even matter. You know what I mean? It's a smart business move. Smart business move.
Right. So now, did you see Logan Paul?
No, I didn't even. I seen the whole.
Have you ever seen? Did you see him when he
Oh yeah,
stood
I seen
next
the
to
fight.
Floyd?
I seen him like that.
Yo, dog. He's mad tall next to Floyd. He's like,
yeah.
I think he's your height, maybe taller.
He like 6'1", isn't he?
What do we got to do to get Eddie Chambers to fight a Logan Paul, brother?
Man, they wouldn't fight me.
The Jake Paul, brother.
They would not fight me for.
Why wouldn't they fight you? What would you do to a Jake Paul, Logan Paul? What would you do? What would Eddie Chambers do? If I put you in the ring right now, you ain't trained in 2 years, and they've been training. What are you gonna do, Eddie?
Slap him around. I wouldn't even try. It wouldn't be that hard. I'm not being disrespectful. They're not They're not professional fighters. I'm just being honest. They're.
Man, but you ain't see Jake Paul's last 2 fights.
He fought Ben Askren, and he fought Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson has never boxed in his life. Ben Askren has been a high-level wrestler. If he wrestled Ben Askren and beat him, then I would say something. But he was boxing Ben Askren.
Yo, I need y'all to drop a comment below. Who do y'all got? Eddie Chambers or Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Who wins and why? The best comment gets posted, and we're gonna bring you on here. I want to hear. We want to know. We want to know who you got.
Okay, let me ask you this, Ant. I'm gonna use basketball because you know I'm a huge basketball fan, right? If you brought LeBron James, now he's the best basketball player in the world right now, or one of them, or let's say Kawhi Leonard, not really that well known, right?
Yo, hold up.
Ain't leaving the bathroom.
Eddie ain't leaving the
bathroom. Hey, look, I ain't in the bathroom this time. Yo, remember that, G.
Somebody earlier said, "Where's the shower curtains?"
Yeah, that's right. I ain't in the bathroom today.
I just ain't posted.
But check this out. I'm gonna be serious though. It's like if you got, let's say Kawhi Leonard to play one-on-one with a YouTuber, what would you say? The fuck you gonna say? Even if the YouTuber was 6'8", he's not gonna beat Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard does that every day. Even if Kawhi Leonard didn't play for 10 years, and you put Kawhi in there with a dude who was playing even D1 basketball, he's gonna destroy them even 10 years retired. You can't do it. There's a certain level that you have to get to. I'm not being disrespectful. I appreciate for them what they're doing for the sport.
Do you think you'll stop them, or will it go distance?
If I wanted to, I could stop them. If I could do what I wanted. Seriously, like I haven't fought in a long time. I get in there with guys who are actually real live heavyweight pros right now and still do okay. That are maybe rated. What is this? Like, really? Hey, you saw me even when we get in the gym. like with young guys who are trying to go to the Olympics. I ain't sparring a year. Really? Do you really think that this dude can? I mean, I'm not being disrespectful. Even if he's working hard, and I appreciate that he's doing that for himself, but he's not a pro fighter like that.
Yo, Gary Cooper, thanks for the $5 contribution. Now let's see who
Gary.
we got here. Let's see what these people think. Chambers hurts both of them. Okay, Eddie, you got one on your side. Okay, okay.
Is it really? I mean, look, is it really?
Eddie 100.
Hey, listen, is it? I'm being honest. I'm not mad at them. I'm not disrespecting them. I mean, I like what they're doing. You know, they're bringing interest to boxing. You know, this whole Triller thing, even though it's a little ridiculous at times, it's still, you know, it's interesting, right? What?
Eddie Chambers, it's good to see you firing on all cylinders. I just wanted to tell you I'm still a fan. Oh, look at that, Eddie.
Appreciate it, man. Really,
yo, people love some Eddie Chambers.
But talking about it like that's messed up, G. That's messed up. Don't be talking about my hair, yo.
Honestly, I think Eddie would pepper him with the jab until he wants to quit. You know what, Eddie? You know what, Eddie? I can see you letting him off the hook. I can see you letting him off the hook, man. You're that type of guy. You like letting people off the hook.
No, hey, look, I swear, this is what I would do. And this is the problem probably with me, is that I would be just in there messing around with him, taking it easy. Because, I mean, what am I going to – see, for me, it's like if I was in there with a real dude, like I was like, okay, I got to be serious. What? Come on, man. If I'm in there with somebody like that, I'm not even worried about winning or losing. Because I already won. I ain't got to do nothing. I can fight him however I want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? And it's not disrespecting him. It's just it's like I'm not as popular as he is.
Brooklyn, what up? Yo, I might open a gym in Brooklyn. I'm not sure. I am not sure. But yeah, man. Honestly, man, I would love to see you get a big payday, easy fight like that, man. That would be so dope. That would be so dope, man. Let's see, somebody else had said something. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take, of course, you know what I do. I'm gonna put the link here. All right, we're gonna start bringing people on. You know, I love to bring the people on. Mm-hmm. And if you want to come up in here and say a few words, you know what I'm saying? Click that link right there, and we'll let you get a few. You know, we'll let you get a few words off. You ain't gonna come on here for the whole hour and talk with us, but you gonna get your words off. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Eddie. So, Felix Verdejo, did you hear about what he did? Did you hear about that situation, man?
Yo, yeah, man. Yeah.
That was one of the most horrendous situations. I can't believe it, man.
People, you never know, man. You never know what's going on with people and what's in their minds, and when their back's against the wall, you never know. I'm not okay with that at all. At all. I can't even come up with an excuse for that.
Like I hate to bring it up and talk about it on this live, to be honest with you, because it's just a terrible situation. But my thing is, it happened last week, and I said this is boxing recap. That's how the week started.
Yeah.
That's how the week started. It started with Felix Verdejo, you know what I'm saying, doing what he did, which was just disgusting, right? Terrible thing to do. You know what I mean? Look, if you cheat on your girl, and there's all my dudes out there who like to cheat, all right? Because I know a lot of you out there, you know what I'm saying? And I see a few of you, I should call you out right now. You know what I mean? But if you want to cheat on your girl and you get another chick pregnant, dog, just deal with it. Just deal with it, dog. Just tell your girl, yo, you know what I'm saying? Why you gotta kill the girl? Why you gotta kill the baby? Why you gotta shoot them when they dead? Why? Oh my God, throw them off the bridge. Like, yo, that was just crazy. Like, so now you got a bunch of people in jail threatening Verdejo. Like, I mean, I don't know, where does Verdejo, like, kid with all the talent, kid with all the accolades. He was an Olympian. He was a potential world champion. I mean, did he win a world title?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think so.
It was just sad, bro. It was just sad. Yo, we got some people in here, though. Let's bring in my man, Ultra Tech Boxing. He wanted to bring that UK point of view. What's up, man? Talk to me.
What's happening, G? Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
You gotta turn it up. Your
We
mic.
can't hear you, bro.
What's happening, G? Can you hear me?
All right, we're gonna have to let my man go. Can't hear a word he's saying. When you get that fixed, man, come back. New York.
Hey, coach, what's
Yo,
poppin'?
what's good, man?
Hello?
Yo, you gotta show your face, man. You gotta show your face. You know what I'm saying? You gotta show us where you at.
Sorry,
Like,
coach,
now
my
feel like it was
background is a bit nasty, but I
Man,
just want to say, hey, man, I'm a big fan. I just want to say thank you for all the content. And Eddie Chambers, I
no.
love to see your fights, man. I saw you against Klitschko. I just want to say, man, I appreciate you guys. And, my question to both of you is these days, in boxing, people are a bit, harsh on the fighters. Do you think like it can be a bit more easier for them, like for the fighters to say, "Hey, you quit, but it's okay, just another day"? But is that too soft or whatever?
For me, that's how I look at it. I mean, people have different reasons for what they do. If somebody was to quit, there must be a little bit more under the hood than what you've seen. A lot of people don't really know the story, the full story, and to pass judgment on a fighter just based on that particular thing. I mean, we've seen Victor Ortiz quit in a couple of fights. You never know what came across his mind or what happened in those fights. You know what I mean? There's other fighters that quit on the stool for reasons of injury, and it's hard to say. I mean, I fought with an injury, but that doesn't mean my injury was as bad as theirs. You know what I'm saying? It could be more life threatening, or they just scared them. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? And they just felt like, hey, I got a family, I got other responsibilities. You know what I mean? Let me get out of here.
Yeah, I
True,
mean, I'm
true,
I'm kind
true.
of I'm kind of there with Eddie. I just believe that listen, man, like I said, it's easier to be brave with another man's blood, So you
So,
have to, you got to remember that fans, they want to see brutality. And don't get me wrong, I like to see some of that too, but it all depends on the individual. This is a case by case situation. I think every fighter is different. So you just have to respect the decision of the fighter. If he has a legitimate reason on why he's stopping, then you just got to take it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because if he would have died, then everybody would have said, "Why didn't they stop the fight?" You know what I mean?
yes, sir.
It's
Yes,
always a
Yeah,
sir.
hypocritical situation. So that's really my thoughts on it too, man. You do what's best for you and your life and your family. Nobody could judge you but God at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
I agree, man. I agree. Thanks for the time, coach, and God bless you both. And I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you,
Appreciate that.
brother.
All right.
Yeah, man. It's always dope when people come on here, show love. Guys, if y'all want to come on here, man, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Show your face. If you don't show your face, I'll still let you on, man. But Eddie, man, it's crazy that people yo, no more coming on here telling Eddie, yo, I want to give you props for the Klitschko fight. All right? Eddie done beat so many people. This is what I need you guys to do. Go to BoxRec, pull up Fast Eddie Chambers, and just look at the long list of quality guys who Eddie actually fought. And look at the W, look at the W, look at the W, look at the W, and then come back and maybe give him props for beating up on Samuel Peters. Maybe give him props for beating up a 6'7" Dimachenko. Maybe give him props for fighting, you know what I'm saying, these guys back to back to back to back and taking the hard road to the world title when most guys would have ducked a lot of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Eddie fought Klitschko. Yes, Eddie lost. I'm speaking for Eddie. I'm sure Eddie doesn't give a shit. But my thing is, y'all gotta start doing y'all research, man. Like Eddie done fought killers. He fought Calvin Brock. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys, y'all gotta know boxing. Look up, and I'm not coming at you specifically who just hopped on because you was a nice kid. This happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to do your research. Y'all want to see Eddie fight Thomas Adamak with one arm. Torres Bassa fought him with one freaking arm. You know what I'm saying? Who else, Eddie? Who else you fought, Eddie? That was a top guy? Because I can't remember you fought so many.
Probably me. I fought Povetkin too.
Povetkin. For fucking Povetkin.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Was whooping his ass till you decided to let your foot off the gas. Povetkin's still fighting till his day, top guys. Who else?
Yeah, let me see. Damn, don't get mad if I can't remember everybody. No, but like I said,
You don't remember your own career.
My road to I fought like the start in 07 or 06, 07. It was started with Rossi. Then
Derek Rossi. Yep, I remember you fought Derek Rossi. It was a good fight.
Then Dominic Gwynn.
I should say.
Yeah, then Dominic Gwynn.
Dominic Gwynn was beating everybody.
Dominic Gwynn. Then Calvin Brock.
Calvin Brock, who was on freaking Fight Night Fight Night Round 3. I remember I used to pick him. He was on a freaking video game before you were.
Yeah, before I was. Then after that, I fought Alexander Povetkin. Then after I fought Povetkin, I fought a guy that some of these guys people ain't gonna remember or know Rafael Butler, but he was a
bad boy.
He was a tough dude. He was a good amateur at one point. He was a knockout guy, but I mean, he was only knocking out guys he could beat at the time. So, and he couldn't beat me. I ended up stopping him. And that was my first fight back after I fought Povetkin and lost to him. And then from there, I fought a couple guys that were just more key, stay busy fights. Then I fought St. Peter. Then after St. Peter, fought Alexander Dimitrenko. Then after Alexander Dimitrenko, I fought Vladimir. Then after Vladimir, my first fight back was Derek Rossi, second time. And then I was about to fight my main man, Tony Thompson, but I had to pull out of that. So a lot of craziness going on, plus an injury. Then after that, I think I came back and fought Tomas, and I think it was Tomas was the next one. And then after
you fought Cruz, and then you went to the UK, and then me and you met, and it was all she wrote. Ultra Tech, I see you back. Let's see what you're talking about.
Not a fight,
bro. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you, baby. Talk to us.
Big up, yeah. Coach Anthony, I just want to say it's an absolute honor. I have my own YouTube channel. Actually, we had 900 people in the live a couple of days ago discussing the Billy Joe Saunders Canelo fight, and I actually showed a part of your pre-fight preview of Eddie Chambers. I did a little boxing in the gym before COVID, so I know a little bit about Orthodox versus Southpaw. But from the UK perspective, I'm not speaking for all the people from the UK, but there's a lot of controversy about this fight. There's a lot of controversy about the way the fight finished, but there's a lot of controversy about the run-up to the fight and Billy Joe Saunders' preparation, and there's a lot of controversy about the way he was promoted. First and foremost, I don't think we saw the best Billy Joe Saunders at all. Not making excuses. I don't think he's on Canelo's level. He's never fought anybody on Canelo's level, right? But this is a man who was swapped trainers time and time again throughout his career. Eddie will know because Eddie was very tight with the Furies and probably knows all about Billy Joe Saunders and what goes on. But this is a man who switched trainers 4, 5, and 6 times, which is something that you can't do. He's really should be. Billy Joe Saunders isn't a super middleweight at all. He's a middleweight at best. But he's an undisciplined middleweight, Coach Anthony. He's somebody who was being told by his trainers to train a certain way. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to get up. He didn't want to do the road one. And he was a guy who used to blow up in between weight. He was completely undisciplined. And as a result, that's why he ended up at super middleweight in the first place. So as far as the fight goes, a lot of people in the UK, including myself, I never thought he could win the fight. But I thought that if he brought his absolute A game to the fight, that he'd be able to make it very, very difficult for Canelo. And for me, that game plan was all about foot speed. That game was all about foot speed. I feel like Canelo in some of his recent fights been loading up on shots. And that's why I wanted to get your opinion on Coach Anthony. I thought that really the only weakness that I've seen in Canelo's fights, particularly in the fight with Callum Smith, is I just felt a couple of times loading up on big single shots and possibly a bit slow on the feet. And I thought Billy Joe's only chance to survive in this fight was to get the jump on him with the feet, throwing some foot feints, which we spoke about in our chat, which you should know all about and things like that. At the end of the day, what happened was he came into that ring for me. He looked flat for me. Like I said, he wouldn't have won the fight anyway, but for me, he looked flat. But the most important thing that I saw from that fight, there's a lot of British people who seem to think he was doing well in the fight. I didn't see that. I thought Canelo closed him off, and he did exactly what we spoke about in that pre-fight preview. And I'm a southpaw fighter, and you spoke about it before when the Orthodox always tries to, not always, but a lot of the time, the Orthodox fighters try to step to the outside. They're trying to get their lead foot on the outside. And what I saw in that fight was Canelo getting to the outside every time, double jabbing, setting up his feet, and going with the right hand. And Billy Joe couldn't adjust. It was always the double jab right hand to the body, double jab to the right hand to the head, and then finally it ended up being the double jab uppercut. And so, yeah, sorry for rambling on. I'm a little bit, but I want to get your thoughts on how you saw the fight and. There's a lot of UK people who think that Billy Joe was in the fight. I never saw he was in the fight at all at any point.
We actually covered that earlier. My opinion was that Billy Joe looked good in the middle rounds for maybe 1 or 2 of the rounds, but I felt that Canelo controlled the first 5 rounds, and then I thought he was starting to miss a few shots to the head. He was headhunting in round 6, 7, and then obviously he hit him with the big shot in round 8 and stopped him. I didn't think it was a close fight. I posted that it wasn't a close fight on my Instagram. I actually said that Billy Joe had moments, but no way you can call it a close fight. And like I told Eddie before, when a guy walks a guy down the way that Canelo was walking down Billy Joe, there's 2 times that this is going to happen in boxing. The first time is what I saw from Canelo. You have no respect for your opponent. You feel that you could just walk him down. You feel that I could walk through whatever he throws. I got to worry about. I'll catch it and I'll rip right off of that. The second time is when you're completely frustrated and you don't know what else to do. So you're just walking in because you can't figure him out. But in this case, I feel that Canelo was walking him down comfortably. And then once he started to miss in the center of the ring, you started to see Canelo actually take a step back, start to make a few adjustments. And then in round 8, he finally made the proper adjustment and landed the shot. I think that Billy Joe Saunders, if anything, disappointed me. I thought that he was going to do better, actually, than what he did. But then again, like I said before the fight, I said, we don't know which Billy Joe is going to show up. I said, if the Billy Joe who fought David Lemieux showed up to fight Canelo, good chance that he could pull the upset. But years has went by since then. Exactly. And I see Canelo constantly train, constantly fight. And I said, I don't think that that's the same Billy Joe's going to come. And that's exactly what happened. It was a different Billy Joe than I expected. Go ahead, Eddie. I see you ready to say something.
No, I actually like your assessment of what he did. It was pretty much what I thought. I thought he looked a little flat early, a little unsettled, a little unsure early. And, Canelo was real tricky with his head movement and all. So that's understandable early on. But I felt like in the middle rounds, he started to get a little comfortable and a little more confident too, because Canelo got too far away from going to the body. He was going to the body nice early, and it was hard for Billy Joe to kind of get adjusted. But once he started to he got a little bit too comfortable, a little too confident, then he just started disrespecting Billy Joe a little bit too much. He started going for those big shots a little too often. Billy Joe saw him, and he started letting his hands go in combination.
Yeah, you can see when Canelo was missing in the center of the ring, you could kind of see that it was more of he got too comfortable, like you said. Like it was working for him too easily, and it almost was to the point where it was like, you know what I mean? But then once you could see that he had to settle back a little bit, you seen him taking a step back in round, I think it was 7, where I was like, look, Eddie, he's taking a step back now. And it's because he knew he couldn't just walk in anymore because Billy Joe was actually starting to pull some of that stuff out that I thought he was going to do. Yeah. But when you got a guy who's punching like Canelo, real accurate, real sharp,
100% agreed.
That changes the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right. 100%.
100%. It was
good. Billy Joe was a hell of a fighter. I think he'll be back, hopefully. As far as his discipline goes, all those points that you made about him switching trainers and discipline, that's like a not I don't want to sound harsh, but that's like cry me a river. You're a professional athlete. You know what you're supposed to do. You know you're supposed to train. You're supposed to listen to your team. If you're not doing those things and you want to make millions and millions of dollars, but you're not doing it, cry me a river. If you get knocked out that night, it is what it is. So you knew what it was. You knew what you were getting into. You know you're a professional. If I'm a professional boxing coach and I'm not doing my homework, I'm not studying the opponent who my fighter's fighting, I'm not getting up to train my fighter, I'm not focusing, and then I get embarrassed in the corner. Whose fault is that? You know what I'm saying? That's my fault. You know what I mean? So we have to hold ourselves accountable when we're not doing the right shit. And if he's not doing the right stuff, cry me a river. You know what I'm saying? You made way more money in that one fight than I did in the last 3 years. So
may I say one more thing, Coach Atney? Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Say that one more time.
Is it okay if I say one more thing? Are you sure? Is it okay if I just
go ahead. And then I got to bring something else on.
Yeah, no worries. Just last thing. I can't completely agree with you said. Not making any excuses. Like you, I was expecting a lot more. If you look at the foot speed in the David Lemieux fight, clearly not the same guy who fought in the Lemieux fight in terms of the foot speed. For me, the feet were a lot flatter. I was expecting him, like I said before, as a southpaw fighter, that orthodox is like to get on the outside and set up the right hand, particularly down the middle. I was expecting Billy Joe, when he got closed off, to throw a few foot feints and try and throw Canelo off, because there was no way he was ever going to be able to hold him off with his power, like you said. And that's what I was looking for. I thought the feet, the speed, and the foot feints was the only way. He couldn't pull it off. And like you said, the power spooked him. The power absolutely spooked him. You know how it is. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Ultra Boxer, man, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you bringing us up in a different live, man. That's really appreciated, man. And
peace.
Yes, you already know. Let's bring my guy in right here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there goes my guy.
How are you, man?
What's up, man? What's going on, brother? How you been?
Good, man.
I have three things to say. The first thing is with the Mayweather and the Logan, right? I know it's financial-wise, it's a good financial gain for Logan, but as a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer, a promoter, he has a gym. He can get one of the fighters in there to fight Logan. Why would you do that? If he wins, he's supposed to win. If he loses, it makes Logan look good.
Yeah.
My second thing is this: with the Bubba Andrea, should he be allowed in the press conference of Canelo? Because that's his time to shine. He won. He want to get out of there, whatever.
Well, for me, it's promotion. You know what I mean? Anytime you see a fighter jump in the ring after a guy wins, even though it's their time, they won, they happy, everything's great, it's promotion for the next event. Nobody's thinking about the thing that just happened. Don't get me wrong, they are still thinking about it, but they want to get on to the next thing. You know what I mean? They want to create that next opportunity to make a bigger payday or a bigger show, so more people can want to see it, just to make it exciting. So it's like when guys storm the ring, storm the press conference, it's exciting. Ooh, maybe there's a fight that's going to come out. Like the whole thing with Floyd and Logan Paul, at the Jake Paul at the press conference. It's just selling more tickets, man. That's all it's about. You know what I mean? And then him fighting them as a Hall of Famer, fighting a YouTuber. It's just staying relevant. You know what I mean? And staying relevant as an athlete too. Sometimes it's cool, just fade off into the sunset and spend that money you got and enjoy your life and all that. But a lot of these guys are just addicted to that life. So it's like when you get an opportunity to stay relevant with new people, with new fans, a new fan base, like you got all of YouTube now looking at you, even if they're hating you because they love Logan Paul and Jake Paul, it's like, yo, you still paying attention to me. You know what I mean? Now I found a new revenue stream. Now I'm bigger than life again. So for me, that's really what it's about.
Yeah, but Eddie, like me, I'm an amateur fighter. You're a pro,
right?
That's like you can really hurt me. For you, it's not a win. It's just
right. That's true.
That's it. Same thing with Floyd. If he beat this kid up, hurt him real bad. Look at this, Conor McGregor. Come on, and look, he UFC fighter.
Yeah.
As me saying, I don't think it's a good idea for Floyd to do it. I know it's a financial gain, but it's a bashment of the sport. It is. It is.
Yeah, for him, it's a lose. Well, I guess it's kind of a lose-lose. But like I said, he's still going to get these young fan base to follow him. And I think that's what he's probably thinking more. He knows that this kid can't do nothing with him. He can beat them both on the same night. But it's like he's still like, it's like him going over fighting that Asian guy. You know what I mean? He knew that kid couldn't beat him. It's like Conor McGregor. He knew Conor McGregor couldn't touch him if he wanted to. So he's only doing this because he knows it's going to sell. It's going to keep him relevant. I think that's why he's doing it. Other than that, I couldn't understand why. It's like you're taking a chance on your legacy. It's like when I look at Roy. People don't understand how great of a fucking fighter Roy Jones was. Roy Jones might have been the best fighter to ever walk this earth, but everybody thinks about, he got knocked out by like 600 guys, and it's like he just couldn't carry his jockstrap in a suitcase if they fought him in his prime. Like he would knock all of them out and embarrass them. But it's about legacy. So for Floyd, he's looking like, I'm not gonna ruin my legacy. I'm just gonna keep on grabbing this extra cash and stay relevant. That's what I think he's thinking.
So, Coach Ant, this is my question. For my last question, I let you go. I seen your video early with the 6 shadow boxing techniques, right? So my question is, right, when you're shadow boxing, right, and I know you always got to keep moving, you gotta breathe and all that, right? When you visualize, right, whether it's a counter punch, whether it's a touch and shoot, whether it's a roll, whatever, how many rounds should you do it, and should you always be moving, always like constantly moving, with constantly moving?
How many rounds?
How many rounds?
Where you're just freestyle shadow boxing, where
Yeah,
you're just visualizing and like you're boxing a person?
yes.
As many as you can do. That's my answer. As many as you can do within reason, right? So let's just say it just depends on how many rounds you want to train. Let's just say you want to hit the heavy bag for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to hit the speed bag for 4 rounds. Let's say you want to jump rope for 3 or 4 rounds. Then I would probably put myself to shadow box for 4 rounds. You know, you want to structure your boxing routine, you know, by how many rounds it's going to take you to do everything. You want to work the floor. So you want to jump rope. You want to shadow box. You want to hit the heavy bag or the mitts or spar, depending on what the day is, right? Because that rotates, right? Some days we might do mitt work more than heavy bag. Some days we might do sparring more than heavy bag. Some days we might do the heavy bag more than sparring and the mitts. It just depends on the day. There's no number. There's no number, right? There's no perfect number. What it is that day, what do you want to focus on a little bit more? So you might get 6 good rounds of shadow boxing and only 4 rounds of heavy bag work. You might get 4 rounds of shadow boxing and get 8 rounds of heavy bag work. It just depends on the day. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't get too caught up in that. I would get more caught up on what are you focusing on? What needs to be improved in your training? Is it your conditioning? Let's say your conditioning needs to be improved. Then that's where you need to put your focus. You're focusing on skills, and you might have all the skills, but you're out of shape. So we got to get you in shape. You know what I'm saying? You might be in shape, but your skills suck. So we don't got to focus on getting you in shape. We need to get your skills up. So you need to know where the weakest link is and focus on that area. All right, my man. Yo, I always appreciate you showing love, my brother.
Always, man.
You already know.
Man.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, Eddie, man, we've been on here for an hour. I told you I wasn't going to take up your whole night, man. I like to come on here for an hour. Yo, guys, man, I want to say thank you.
Damn, you cut off on me, Ant. I'm on the show and you ain't even here. That's fucked up, man.
Whoop.
That's messed up, Ant. You left me hanging.
All right. That's how I be feeling. Whoops. Yo, so I want to say thank you to everybody who chimed in, everybody who came through. But check it out. If this is something that y'all like that we came on here, you know what I mean? This is the second time this week. On a fight week, I'm going to definitely do a few lives because we got to keep the fight week going. But if y'all like this consistency of, weekly, I think Monday is a good day. What do you think, Eddie? Can you commit to a Monday?
Yeah, I can do Monday.
Like a Monday, let's just say like a Monday, 9 o'clock?
Monday.
9 p.m. Eastern time?
9 o'clock is good.
Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern time?
I was gonna say earlier, but yeah, 9 o'clock is good.
That's cool, right? Because that gives you enough time to do what you got to do. You come home, relax, boom, and then of course, guys, these lives don't disappear. I post them up to the YouTube channel. You can always check them out later, guys. I need you guys to share, like, comment. You know what I'm saying? When I post it and it goes on YouTube, comment on there. You know what I mean? So we can keep this going. And we're gonna start really doing this, man, on a regular basis. Eddie, man, the people love you, bro. The people love you. Really? Everybody wants to see you on here, man. Everybody's like, where's Eddie at? Everybody's like, where's Eddie at? Look, my man right here. Thank you, Sparring Loving, man. Yo, you see what I'm saying? Showing love. Eddie, I'm going to give you $2.50 out of that $5. I promise. You know what I'm saying? You my God. You my God. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, man. We need guys like you who really been in the ring. I don't know if people really appreciate, what you bring to boxing. And now you're actually, training people outside in the New Jersey area. You know what I'm saying? Eddie's actually working with clients and teaching and stuff like that. So if y'all interested in that, go follow Eddie Chambers on Instagram at Fast Eddie Chambers and shoot him a DM and maybe y'all can link up and Eddie can go ahead and train. We're gonna get both of us, man. We're gonna get on like the Zone or something. Me and you need to get on there. We're gonna get on the Zone or Showtime or something. They need guys like us. After what I saw Chris Mannix post, I was like,
well, you know what?
I need to get on there. I need to get on. He gave 5 rounds to Billy Joe Saunders in round 6. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes people just so badly want to go the other way
Right.
that they're not even watching what's going on in the fight straight up. And I think, like, if you see, like, say there's a fighter that's been dominating everybody and you see him have like a round that is kind of close, even if he really was winning, they're gonna be like, man, the other dude beat him. He was working him, he outworked him. And it's like, yo, no, he wasn't. It was just because you finally seen him have a little bit of an issue. Now he lost the round. It's like with Floyd. You've seen that happen so many times with Floyd. He'd be winning the fight easy, but because he was struggling a little bit at times, with a guy who was like headbutting him or holding him or biting him or whatever the situation was, it's like now he lost rounds. It's like, no, he just had a couple tough ones. Didn't mean he lost them. It was just tough rounds. Tough rounds of school. It happens. You know what I mean?
So, yo, hey, man, you already know what it is, man. Next week, man, we back. We're going to talk next week. We're going to try to come up with some dope topics, you know what I mean, and just focus on that topic. And, of course, the people, we're going to bring them on. Guys, I love it when y'all come on and y'all chime in and y'all talk. Y'all make the show much more fun. You know what I mean? So you already know what it is. And, guys, go to the website, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Use CA Boxing 50, man, and go ahead and get yourself a course. Man, I don't think they realize what these courses are about, man. Yo, Eddie, talk to them real quick before I let them see, you know, what I did to the website, the upgrades. You don't even know the upgrades. I got to show them to you. I mean, you don't know what I've been doing behind the scenes, man. I done upgraded it, man. I done added PDF plans. I done cut up the videos like in like 5-minute increments. So now it's like if you want to learn a particular technique, you don't got to watch the whole video. You just click. I got PDF plans so they can learn how to like structured workout programs off of it. And I made every single video mirrored in a southpaw version. So now lefties can't say, hey, man, how about me?
That's dope.
You got to see it, dude. It's fire. I'm going to show it to you next time I see you. But tell them, yo, from your perspective, you know, a lot of people like to criticize internet trainers and be like, oh, man, he's just training guys on YouTube. And he's talk to us about that real quick and what your thoughts are being somebody who's partnered with me on these videos.
Well, I can say this much: the content is ridiculous. There's so much information on here. But the biggest thing that I look at is when I was coming up, you know, working with my, you know, me and my dad working and training and doing all this stuff. We never had anything like this that we can utilize. We never had. Now, granted, my dad had all the information necessary to make me who I am today. I'm not going to say he didn't. However, it would have been nice to bounce ideas. You know what I mean? Be able to call somebody, talk to a guy like Coach Ant, you know, go to a website, get a course that you can actually get ideas from level talent. You know what I mean? You know how to do this. You know, there's certain things that even when you brought it up to me, and I was like, oh shit, I never even thought about trying that. You know how many times I said that to you when we were working out? Like, I didn't think about trying that. And I've been to the mountaintop, and there was things that you brought to my attention that I didn't even realize or I didn't even try before that might work for me. So it's like you can be the best fighter in the world or a guy who's a beginner just trying to learn. And there's so much information, so much content you can utilize there. And it's like you pay a little bit of money for something like that is so much.
Yeah, and that's what I tell guys. I see, you know, people always DM me, yo, Coach Ant, what do you charge for a session? And what's crazy is I charge less for a course than I do for a session. And if they was to get the course, no lie, even though I love when people train with me one-on-one, they're going to get way more out the course because that course will last you forever. And a personal one-on-one session is only going to be for that hour, and that's it, is over.
The only thing about the hour is the personalization. You just like, we're talking, we're hanging out, you know what I mean? We're working together.
Don't get me wrong, you want that hour, but in the long run.
But in the long run, that's what I was going to say. Like the personalization of how you're talking me and you together, like you're really training me. That feels good, right? That's nice. Pause. But if I got that course, I can slow it down. I can like use like I can piece it together. I can look at something.
When you're ready for watching, when you're home, sleep, wake up the next day motivated to do it.
100%. And you can literally you could practice something over and over and over and over and over again until you get it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, 100%. You can get a lot
Yep.
more than a lot out of this sport.
And I got the best person I can ask for to be a demonstrating partner with me, and that's Eddie Chambers. I want y'all to check it out right here. If you guys don't know what it's about, I'm gonna drop the little commercial. Check this commercial out, Eddie.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy,
You
right?
really turning up the volume on this shit, boy. That's nice though.
Yeah,
I like it.
bro. All right, man. See
It's
you,
a shame that
Eddie.
you got
Man,
my
thank you so much.
Hey, it's a shame you got my ugly ass in there, because otherwise it would have been.
Listen, you made that shit look good. You made that shit look good. Hold on, we got some private chats on here. Okay, I'm gonna check these out. And that's it, my guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and like, comment, share, and check out that new instructional I just dropped today. 6 tips, 6 keys to shadow boxing is on my YouTube channel. It's my most recent post. Check that out. Eddie, next week, man, we need to record. I recorded by myself this week. I did a bunch of stuff, so it's cool. But next week, we got to have you back, man. I need that professional boxing. You know what I'm saying? I need all that, man.
I got you. You already know.
Bro. I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. You already know boxing life.